Welcome back, everybody. I'm here now with that full forecast. Starting it off with these current temperatures, it's a lot warmer than when we started out yesterday. A good 10 degrees warmer for some of us. 70 degrees right now here in San Angelo. 67, a little cooler up here in the big country. There's a couple more places that have already dropped down into the 60s as well. 65 here in Big Lake, 64 over here in Breckenridge. But we still have a little bit lower to get as we get through the nighttime. Low is going to be getting into the 50s, so a little bit cooler, but we're actually around average this time. 57 for that low here in San Angelo, 53 up here in Abilene. I'm generally seeing a lot of those two numbers. I'm seeing a couple 55s as well here in Ballinger and Robert Lee. So it's going to be a somewhat comfortable night, and we're going to have some partly cloudy skies as well. We're going to have our cloud cover coming in and out as we get through the nighttime going into the morning. This is about where we are right now with our current temperatures. And that cloud cover is going to be slowly coming in as we get into the morning time tomorrow. We've got some Gulf moisture that's coming through into the area that I'll show you in just a second. But we also have some very light rain chances, mostly for the Concho Valley as we get through. We have this moisture and just a little bit of instability that could bring us a light shower or two. Some of it might not even make it to the ground, but it's going to be extremely light. Do not have very high expectations for what these rain chances are going to look like. But we'll get through Wednesday daytime. We're going to see our highs around 6 o'clock. You see 81 degrees for that high in San Angelo, around 80 here in Abilene. It's going to be a pretty comfortable day for everyone. And as we get into the afternoon and evening, those clouds are going to start to fade away as well, but they will come back again as we get later into Thursday night. But once we get a little bit closer to our 9 o'clock show tomorrow, temperatures will cool down just a little bit down into the 70s as we get things started. But over these next couple of days, the temperatures are still planning to rise. We're going to be finally hitting 80 degrees possibly tomorrow and jumping further into the 80s on Thursday, with the 90s by the time we get to Friday, and we may even stay there the whole weekend despite a cold front that may come through from Friday night into Saturday morning. So I've got a weather pattern here to show you kind of what that looks like. We have high pressure that's sitting in the area, and with high pressure we get that clockwise rotation. So with that, when we get these winds down here closer towards the Gulf, it's going to be pulling in that Gulf moisture to us here in Texas. So that's exactly what you're going to see here when I switch sides. That's going to slowly roll in as we get to the morning time, and there's that possibility for those rain chances as well as we get into Wednesday morning as well. They'll continue as we get through the day, and you may see it again on Thursday as well. Those chances are actually just a little bit lighter. We're really not seeing too much instability, so again, don't expect much of it whatsoever. Despite how widespread this might look, we're really not going to see much at all. I wouldn't even count necessarily anything more than a trace. But as we get into Friday, that high pressure is going to move off to the side along with those clouds. You see some development up here in the northern plains, or really getting further north into the plains, and that's because the low pressure system is going to start working its way in. We're going to see that start to have its effect as we get into the weekend. Of course, that's the thing that we are going to be investigating as we continue through this week, because models still don't really agree as to whether we're going to be seeing high rain chances or not. But I can tell you we will see some gustier winds as we continue to get through the day, with Friday possibly being the climax of that. But the good news is we are going to have some very warm temperatures as we go a little bit further into next week as well. And it's looking like we're going to have a good 40 to 30% chance of having above average precipitation. So that shows that we may actually get that rain by the time we get into the weekend. So wrapping up with that 7-day forecast, even though we are going to have that rain and possibly that cold front, we're still going to see some very nice temperatures getting into the 90s during the weekend and staying there by the time we start next week.